A chat with Glendora, a show for living right. A chat with Glendora makes your day so bright. Words of inspiration, jokes to make you smile. Come relax and chat with Glendora for a while.
Hi Glendora, I'm here with my mom Nancy celebrating my dad, Richard Noseworthy. He was stationed at Kirk Newton in Scotland from 1958 to 1962. And we just want to show that how much we love him by checking out the planes that he loved.
I was with the 104th Fighter Squadron at Barnes Field in Westfield, Massachusetts. It's about 10 miles this side of Springfield. It's about 85 miles away as the crow flies. So on the morning of the 12th, the pilot was supposed to take off at 8:30, and I assumed...
Force hangars, and we're just checking them all out, and they're exciting. It's worth the money to come. It's only $11 to come to the Aerospace Museum in Glenville, so I suggest if you're here, you should do it. It's really good.
The little 85 is the year it was built. Okay? And the other thing is the 104 is a triple coincidence. The first thing I'll say is the squadron that this came from was the 104th Fighter Squadron from Massachusetts. Let's see, what was the second thing? Oh, well, the second thing is that over the life of all the F-15s in the U.S. service, it's never been defeated in air combat. Over the, well, this plane will be 40 years old next year. There were a few that preceded this. So just in round numbers, say over 40 years, the whole fleet of F-15s has shot down 104 enemy airplanes. And the Ghost Zero means that's the score. 104 to 0.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is a, if you go way back here, if you stand about where I am, you'll realize that it's two big engines and enough gas to go like hell. The payload of the weapons, they can carry 4 missiles on the belly. Each missile weighs 505 pounds, which isn't a whole lot. And then the ammo drum holds 940 rounds. And I figured out the other day, that's about 720 pounds of bullets. The gun weighs about another 260 pounds. So what they removed from the nose, my looking on the web and their best guess of the boxes, was 1,271 pounds. So more than half a ton. Not quite 3/4 of a ton taken out of the nose. But they finally decided to put enough sandbags in the nose so it won't fall back. And yesterday we took all the sandbags out one at a time. It was with the 104th Fighter Squadron at Barnes Field in Westfield, Massachusetts. It's about 10 miles this side of Springfield. It's about 85 miles away as the crow flies. So on the morning of the 12th, the pilot was supposed to take off at 8:30. And I assumed that he was going to stay below 10,000 feet and be here in 17 or 18 minutes. Didn't work out that way. When the museum applied to get the airplane, we were told it was going to cost us $25,000. Well, 20, maybe $25,000 to get it delivered. So, and these cost about $28,000 an hour to run. It had 3,270 gallons of gas when he left. And I was at a point about a mile from here where you're a lot closer to the runway and you can see more of it. So I got down there about 8:45 on that Monday the 12th, and I was looking off to the northeast, expecting to see the guy come over here at a modest speed. One of the guys next to me had these giant cameras, but he also had an aircraft band radio. So he said, he's listening to the tower here in Schenectady as well as the air traffic control center in Boston. I said, okay, the guy just took off. All right. So I waited, 10 minutes maybe, and then the guy next to me said, oh, he just made a U-turn. And I thought, what?
That's different.
So it turns out that the Air Guard did us a huge favor. At the last minute after he was airborne, they decided to make him participate in a training exercise. So the next thing we know, he's going like a dart over Cape Cod. So he's at the wrong end of Massachusetts. So I don't know this. I speculate that maybe he was serving as a target for another airplane. Maybe they were trying to calibrate some radar site on the ground. I don't know that. So a little while, maybe 45 minutes went by, and we're like, wow, he's up there burning up all that gas. And then they said, oh, now he's headed back this way. All right. So I was, again, looking off to the northeast. I figured he's going to stay away from inbound Boston traffic. So he would be north of the Mass Pike. There's not many airfields across southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire. So, but the thing I was afraid of was that morning, the weather was beautiful until about 9:30. And a lot of big, nasty-looking clouds were moving in from the west. Finally, off to the northeast, I see, maybe 15 miles away, I see a contrail. You know what a contrail is? It's the condensation trail up there where the air is cold. That usually happens when you're above about 22 to 25,000 feet. I see a contrail coming, and then, boom, it stopped. I thought, that doesn't look like any other airliner. Oh, it must be this guy. Now he's decided to throttle back and make a steep descent. So one of the things that he was likely to do is set up in part of the navigation gear. He probably tuned into the antennas at Schenectady Airport. And even though he was flying through fairly thick clouds, if you do that, you can see the tail of the number 2 needle will spin around, so that means that you flew right over that airfield. So then I thought, well, I can't see him. But I looked off to the southwest, and there were a few holes in the clouds. And then again, probably 5 to 8 miles away, I see this little black dart. I said, there he goes. All the other people thought I was nuts, They said, oh, good eyes, good eyes. But I was cheating because I knew roughly where to look. And so he got here about 20 after 10. He flew a total of 6 approaches. But again, he did the museum a favor. Why? Because as opposed to the regular touch and go where the pilot just touches the main gear and then powers up and goes around, he got it down to maybe 30 feet, sucked up the landing gear, put it in afterburner, and buzzed this tower 5 times.
Wow.
So why did I say he did us a favor? Well, number one, we didn't get a bill for 25 grand in gas and operation. And 2, because he only landed once, he gave us a better set of tires. So when they towed it over here last Monday, I met with it was towed over here Friday, maybe the 17th, something like that. And the demilitarization crew was here, 11 guys. They have to take out the gun, the ammunition, safety, the ejection seat. And then they disabled a bunch of hydraulic or pneumatic systems so nobody gets hurt. They took out about 300 pounds of boxes from the radar in the nose. I was very worried that the plane would want a tail set because unlike the majority of our other jets that are retired here, they did not take the engines. So the engines weigh about 3,400 pounds apiece. And I thought, boy, if you start pulling out those radar boxes, I don't want to be under the back end.
Yeah.
But I also, so they left the engines. They also gave us the pylons and drop tanks, which I did not expect. So I said to our president, boy, we want to be sure that thing doesn't tail set. And I took out my calculator and a few books I have and ran some quick estimates. And the worst case would be if the center of gravity of the whole thing is right at the back axles, like a giant teeter-totter. So I said, well, the worst case, you're going to have 831 pounds of stuff in the nose. And the best case was about 330 pounds. So our president said, well, the air guard tells us from over there they're going to put 300 pounds of sandbags in the nose. But after I told him, well, the real answer is somewhere between 330 and 830. A couple days later, he said, oh, now they say they want to put in 600 pounds of sandbags. Well, I knew that however accurate or inaccurate my answer was, the air guard's going to do the right thing because they have to tow it over here. Okay?
Yeah.
So behind their tug and their tow bar, it had to be stable. So they brought it over here, and we got a chance to quiz some of the mechanics. They showed us how to open the canopy, how to open the panels, and so on. They took out a lot fewer boxes than I thought they would. But I realized this morning when I was shaving, I forgot that the war feathers are not on the back of the tail. Okay? There's some outer flaps around the afterburner nozzle that for years they've been flying without those, and that would benefit everybody.
How old is this airplane?
Well, if you look at the tail, I'm going to take you down here.
Hi guys, this is the F-15 from Massachusetts. It had his last flight here before it retired. This is the reason why I'm here, for my dad, Richard Noseworthy, that served in the military.
I mean to give up long-distance flying.
On June 1, 1937, heading east to Florida, South America, South Africa, and India to New Guinea, stopping repeatedly to meet the public and take on fuel.
This is the route Amelia Earhart and her plane went. These are the planes that my dad would have loved. Oh, wow, my dad would have loved this. My family.
Bubba would be. I know.